So the next project is Factory 5 65 type coupe. So the owner's already done a lot of body work on it. A lot of filler work to take care of all the mold seams. So when I got it, it was still in gel coat with body filler covering, smoothing up a lot of the areas that had seams or imperfections. So it's in pretty good shape to start. I cleaned it up. I sprayed a coat of epoxy to seal it up, and so you can see a lot of the imperfections a lot better. You know, sometimes you get little pinholes on the fiberglass where there might have been sand throughs. There's some right here. Yeah, there's quite a few there. So they're hard to see without, you know, a consistent color sprayed on it. So you can see where the body filler soaked up the epoxy. But it's in pretty good shape. Doors, spoiler. So now we can just go ahead and, you know, kind of smooth off. You can see some sand scratches and some pinholes. There's a little bit of a lump right here. It needs to be smoothed out with some filler. And some, you kind of see some sand scratches here. So it's in pretty good shape. Needs a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of filler work here and there, but shouldn't be too bad. So we'll see how it goes. So just put a little glob of the poly filler on there. Not more than you're going to use for the, it dries pretty quick. Just a little dab of hardener. Just mix it until it's all consistent. No big deal. When you find a spot with a lot of pinholes, like there's quite a few right in this area, you just squeegee it down the whole area, pushing it down to the holes and keep going back and forth, working it in. And it's okay to be a little excessive. We want to make sure we fill those holes up. And then when you think you got them all, scrape all the excess off your spatula, and then you can run it back tight, and you can almost see the holes through the filler now. And that'll keep the sanding to a minimum. You can see how they're filled in. That's perfect, just like that. We just want to get the bulk of the hole filled up. And then if you got extra, you can go on to another spot or just throw this away and start with a new piece of cardboard. Got a lot of the pinholes filled with filler, and then I went back over and sanded all the spots that had pinholes. You can kind of see them now, they really pop out. The epoxy helps show the little holes. Yeah, lots of them right here. So then going back and sanding all the filler, you can kind of see the pinholes pop out. So now I'm going back over the epoxy and sand it with 180, catching any other imperfections, and then I'll shoot it with high build poly primer, and then block it all level. There's a couple spots that need a little more work. I think there's a spot on the roof. Might be able to just blend that in with the primer. This has still got a pretty good lump in it right here and over here where there was a seam. So I'll probably use some regular body filler for that and smooth it. But it's coming along. It's pretty good shape. So I'll just keep at it. Got the epoxy block sanded. I got some repair work done on the nose. Everything's been sanded to 180 and cleaned, ready for high build poly primer. The doors are all set, so I'm going to spray on Evercoat Optics, which is pink. So when you sand it, it turns gray. So you kind of don't even need to use any kind of dust coat or anything for blocking it. Because when it turns gray, you know that it's been sanded and smoothed. So looks pretty good. I think there might be a couple more little pinholes, but I'm going to hold off until all the rest of the primer's on, because then I'm sure there'll be a couple more someplace. But it's pretty good. I think it's in pretty good shape. And start spraying some primer. Got the primer on, looking pretty good. I don't see too many imperfections. There's a couple little pinholes maybe we missed. Not a big deal. So I put on a little extra on some of where the areas where the seams are, just in case. But I think I got pretty good coverage. It's also good when you spray the primer. It also helps you figure out, you know, kind of a method and how you're going to actually paint it, because, you know, where the hose is and where can you reach and where is it too far, where do you need to stand on something. And if you make a mistake with primer, it's not the end of the world, but you want to do the best you can. Started sanding the primer, and you can already see the low spots showing up, and you can kind of feel them just a little tiny bit. But over here I sand some more past where the low spots were and leveled it out so it's nice and smooth. So I'll work this area a little bit, and that'll clean up nice and be nice and smooth. So it'll be a nice, because it had some waves in it before. So I'll do the whole thing this way and straighten it out a little bit more. Just when you think you got all the pinholes, you know, you kind of look around with a bright light and there's some more that pop out here and there. Just mark them up with pencil, go back around. There's a big one I missed under here. Just little tiny imperfections. But when you get it all painted, they'll show up. There's like a pin of a divot in that corner there. There's one here. Not a lot, but there's just enough that, you know, gotta go back around and touch them up a little bit. I'll have to do it now. They'll show up, you know, if you don't take care of them. You know, just little stuff like that. You know, and inside here, you know, you're gonna. They don't look like much, but they'll pop out if they're not filled in. You know, especially like on the, you know, back side of the door. There's a few back here too. Yeah, you don't want to see that when you. That's almost like a little slit. So you don't want to see that when you open the door. So. But sanding's going pretty good. Just gonna go around and hit up all these little pinholes first before I keep going too far. So just keep at it.